What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. So it finally happened. We've been in this slow market cycle, it seems like the past 2 to 3 months, and we finally got a runner, SES, a super low float stock opening at $3.36, running all the way up to close at 550 almost, and then after hours running up to almost $9. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on any more of my new videos. Let's jump into this one, guys. Ticker symbol SES, having a big run on October 11th, 2019. What set this stock off? What made this stock go from $3 to $5 and then running up after hours to almost $9? We're going to break down all of that. We're going to get into it step by step. I'm going to show you guys my thinking process, breaking this chart down. And remember, I am not a financial advisor. I do not recommend to buy or sell stocks. These are my opinions only. If you guys have any comments, leave them in the comments down below. Did you guys trade this stock? Did you make money? Did you lose money? Or did you just watch this stock for the day? First off, if we pull up the news here on SES, on September 6th, a month ago, they put a press release out stating that the technology purchase option between their company and the Australian Futures Energy Party was terminated. Fast forward to October 10th, 1 month later, SES acquires Australian Future Energy. They acquired them for $36 million. Then on October 11th, they released a Form 8K and a Form 425. This $36 million purchase here of Australian Future Energy is what attracted all of this volume. You always want to look for keywords in press releases that will attract volume. If a company wins a big contract, if it's an earnings winner, if they receive a big lump sum of money, any big investor, positive FDA approvals, cancer, diseases, anything that will get people's attention, that's what you want to look for in press releases. Positive words, key words. Now that we got the news out of the way, let's look into the fundamentals of SES. It is a super low float stock. This is what I call a nano float stock. The float is under 3 million. The total float on SES is 1.1 million shares. It's supply and demand. If you have such little supply of something and you have a huge wave of demand come into the stock, that's going to make the price fluctuation very volatile. The total traded volume on the day was 32 million. With the float of 1.1 million, they rotated that float around 26 times. Next thing I want to look at, I always look at the short float percentage. The short float on SES is 7.3%, which is pretty low. If we had a super low float stock and the short float percentage was really high at 20% and above, then that's when you'll be looking for short squeeze. You have a lot of people short the float, which makes the float even smaller. In this instance, we get a big gap up from this trend down here, which causes all these shorts to have to buy to cover their position, and then you get a wave of volume that comes into the stock as well, creating what I like to call a double whammy. And that's when you could really see stocks explode, go supernova, parabolic, crazy. Next up, the insider ownership and the institutional ownership is what I'll look for next, right here. Insider ownership is at 16% and the institutional ownership is at 23%. You always want to look at these key statistics before you even think about trading a stock. You want to know what you're getting into. And then the last thing I'll look at is the ATR. the average true range. On FinViz, the ATR, average true range, goes off the true range the stock has traded the previous 14 days. Also on FinViz, you'll notice they'll have a little box here with what people are saying about this stock on StockTwits. Do not pay no attention at all on StockTwits. Remember, 90% of people fail in the stock market and lose money. If you're looking at what other people's opinions are about a stock to help you determine whether or not you should buy the stock or not, you're looking for a reason to buy the stock. You should always come up with your own analysis of whether you should buy or sit on your hands. Watch as many other traders and their process as a trader. Take what you want from each trader and develop your own process. Next, we're going to look at the daily chart on SES. The first thing I notice is SES has been trending down for quite a while. It did have a little pop-up right here, and it came right back down with another little pop right here. But overall, this stock has been trending down since May of 2017. Another thing I also notice is there are a lot of wicks, long upper wicks on every one of these candles. And remember, every single one of these candles is one trading day. So we have a lot of long upper wicks on all these candles here. That's telling me that this stock loves to run up, but cannot hold its gains. Typically, it likes to have a morning rip. It'll spike up and then it'll give everything back. A lot of pump and dumps. But also, if you see down here on the volume, there's hardly no volume at all traded on this stock. But it's big day right here on October 11th. And when I see that there's no volume previously on this, no huge volume bars, there's not a lot of people that's going to be stuck in this stock. That's one of the things that you don't want to run into as a trader. Bag holders. People that buy in at the top, and when the stock comes down, they're bag holding it, waiting for their opportunity for it to pop up like it did right here, so they can finally cut their losses, break even, or sell it for a little profit. So SES, the previous day, it looked like it closed at around $1.75. On Friday, it opens up and gaps up to $3.25. This red line right here is the 200-day moving average, right at $4. And if we look back right here at around mid-August, the stock seemed to top out right here at this $4 area. So that's going to be our first resistance level that I'm going to be looking at, and I'm going to plot on my intraday chart. We have two walls right at $4 right here and this 200-day moving average. The more walls you have, the stronger that resistance line's going to be or that support line's going to be. And here's SES on a 1-minute chart the past 5 trading days. You could see prior right here, Thursday there was no volume, nothing going on. Wednesday, no volume, nothing going on. Tuesday, no volume, nothing going on. And Monday, it had a little bit of action right here, but it couldn't hold its gains at the end of the day. And then you got just this big wave of volume all right here on Friday. And here is the zoomed in chart on SES from Friday. This is a 1-minute chart. And one more thing I want to point out before we get into the technical analysis is on this chart, you see a lot of big red candles right here, right here, right here. What we call these are flushes or death candles. You'll see these candles on a lot of low float stocks. Here's an example of a chart that I've taken from my own chart vault, ticker symbol SINT, another low float stock that ran in the past. You see just all these big red candles on it. Death candles, flushes. You'll see these a lot on low float stocks. And here's another one. RKDA right here, 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 right here. All these big red candles flushing the stock. They love doing this with super low float stocks. You'll see it on a lot of stocks that are really low float. They'll flush it, they'll grind it all the way back up to the high, and then they'll flush it right back down on you. Taking notice of stuff like this that they do, that the market makers do, separates you from the sheep. So going back to SES with our big flushes all right here. But what was weird with SES, it was real hot and active the first hour and a half of the day, all right here. And then it went sideways from 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time to almost 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And it started to perk up, take off, and off she went. Let's zoom in on the morning part from 9:30 to 11 o'clock on SES. This light shaded gray area right here is pre-market. The stock grinded up from 280 all the way up to 365, pulled back to around this 330 area, and opened up right at this 330 area right here. And you could see for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight minutes, 5 red candles selling off all the way down to this $3 mental area right here. Always look at charts at mental areas. Every whole dollar, every 25 cents, every 50 cents, 75 cents, and back to the whole dollar. So from $3 to $3.25, $3.50, $3.75, and then $4. Psychological levels. Psychology is a huge, huge part in the stock market. Psychology and emotions. Stock sells off from the open, and you could see it start to curve at the bottom right here at this $3 area. When a stock has a rounding bottom like this, that's a bullish signal. When a stock has a rounding top, that's a bearish signal. So always keep that in mind when analyzing charts. The more you know, the more tools that you have as a trader. We had a real quick snap up right here with this green candle, and you could see this big upper wick. The stock went from literally 305 to a high of 365 within 1 minute. That's a huge range for a stock, 65 cents. Think about it. 1,000 shares you blindly buy in and the stock drops 65 cents on you, you're down immediately $650. Pay attention overall to what the overall chart is telling you. We get this rounding bottom here, and it slowly starts making higher lows with these 2 red candles right here. It's getting momentum coming up, and this orange line is the VWAP. Comes up to the VWAP, gets over the VWAP, and is sitting right on top of the VWAP right here at 325, and then gets an explosion from 325 up to 385, 60 cents right there. That's the meat of the move that I'm looking for right there. Then it hangs around in the area where it just made the new day high, and the market makers flush it all the way back down to $3. And look what they do. They grind it slowly but surely all the way right back up to the day high, and they give you guys a death candle right back down to $3. You see how they do that? Breaking down charts, taking pictures of charts, saving them, studying them. History will repeat itself over and over and over and over again in the stock market. There was a big seller right just underneath $4 when it topped out here at 380 and couldn't get above 370 right here. That's what we call a big iceberg order above resistance, causing the stock price to go higher. Then this is where you get a lot of short traders that don't know what they're doing, get cocky, load up going short the stock, and that's when we could see short squeezes happen. We just seen within the first 2 hours of the day right here, the stock has failed to run and make consistently new highs right here and right here. That's going to give shorts confidence that this stock is a piece of crap. It's been trending down. The news isn't that flashy. And then they overlook the float, for an example, and then they blow up. So let's move on. Let's see what happened with SES. With that death candle here, it fell below VWAP down to $3. And then when it came back up, you see all right here, the VWAP was holding as resistance. And it went into a big range here from $3.10 up to $3.30. A 30-cent range back and forth. And then it finally broke down right here down to $3 and then came right back up. Still holding on to that $3 level. That $3 level was a very important level. Then, after lunch, at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the stock gets a spike right here from $3 up to a high of $3.70. And it's hanging around in this area, consolidating, holding as support. It finally got over the highs. It failed to right here and right here. Holding as support, all this volume starts to come into it, and from 350 this lifts off and runs all the way up to $4.60. First, it ran into a little resistance here at $4. Remember from the daily chart, the 200-day moving average was at $4, and that last spike was at $4 on the daily chart. And look what happened right here. $4 acted as a resistant shortly because more volume came into the stock and pushed it up higher. You had shorts probably shorting this, thinking it was about done for. They have to cover their position, buying, and then you get a wave of volume that's also buying as well. A double whammy. And knowing all that stuff makes you feel more comfortable holding onto a winner and just letting it run. And look what happened. From $3, SES ran all the way up to $5.50 right at the market close and then hit a high of $9.25 after hours. Let's also break down this big range right here. SES topped out right here at 476. And then going back to the daily chart, that $4 level right here. Old resistance should hold as new support. This stock went in a good 75-cent range from $4 to $4.75, consolidating before its next move. It found resistance right here, trended all the way back down, hit $4 right there, back up to the high, trended back down, bounced through 4 right there, came right back up and finally broke through that 475 up to almost 550. And when it retraced, look at right where it bounced at, where old resistance was right here at 475. That's showing strength right there. That pullback to 475 and then off it goes right back up to 550. Market closes and then we go into after hours. Right here, that's when a stock could really get volatile. I personally don't recommend trading after hours until you've been around for a while. After hours trading is very risky and very volatile. But what's such a wild run on SES? This is what we needed in the small cap world. We have not had really a big runner, like I said, the past few months because of this market cycle. This market cycle has been very, very slow. A lot of just sitting on our hands, waiting, taking what we can. And hopefully this stock here brings FOMO, fear of missing out, back into the markets. If traders missed this stock and over the weekend, what are they thinking? Remember, it's all about psychology. What they instantly see is, wow, look at how much money I've missed out on. I'm going to be here the next day, ready and prepared for the next big runner. I want to make a lot of money. That's instantly emotions going off when traders look at charts like this. They always think about, wow, how much money I missed out on. They never think about the risk. They don't protect their account, and they always wonder why they're blowing up their accounts. Take it one day at a time, one trade at a time. Come prepared every day and wait for those moments as a trader. It's all about timing. Having the chart make sense to you and your strategy, and developing a strategy that works for you. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on any videos I put out in the future. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. It lets me know that you guys enjoy the content I'm putting out. Until next time, everybody, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. Later, everybody.
The most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?